Hey guys, welcome back to day 22 of Techie Yapping. I'm your host Techie and I do the yapping. This morning I was looking at chai and I thought, have you guys seen those videos on Instagram where the dogs press buttons and then they communicate with their owners? They're like, food, food, water, water, and they press the buttons. I was thinking about genetic evolution. So essentially, will dogs one day, when we selectively breed them, be intelligent enough to communicate with us, like maybe not speak, or maybe one day they could hypothetically or theoretically get to speaking, but being maybe like a small toddler, that level of intelligence? Like right now, you still need to train the dog through positive conditioning, where like you get your dog to do a trick and then you give them a treat and then you slowly condition them to learn that that's what you want them to do, or associate the sound with sit with you wanting them to sit. But I guess isn't that what speaking is? You recognize the sounds that someone else is making from their mouth and then you interpret it in your brain as a recognizable sound which has a certain meaning. And that's how you communicate. So essentially, it's the same for dogs. So maybe one day, dogs will selectively breed them to a point. Like, you got to remember, dogs were essentially wolves, right? And then humans domesticated them. So if we continue down this path, maybe like 1,000 years in the future. Oh, okay, but maybe not. Peter, shut up. Maybe like 100,000 years. Does that sound reasonable now? How long does it need? 1 million?
Yeah.
Maybe like 1 million years in the future. Once we've selectively bred enough generations of dogs, they will be able to communicate with us. And they'll be able to be like a little toddler that follows you around. Yeah. And then the other thing I realized is your pets are essentially like a Pokemon. You keep them alive and they go with you places and they chill with you. So that is the funnest thing in the world. Okay, and today it's Friday here and I'm just going to answer a bunch of questions from you guys. Thank you, Ryan, again for your comment. Ryan's question today is, actually, let's read Ryan's comment first and then we'll go to his question. It's so life-changing in the best way because you finally understand yourself. This is about being diagnosed with autism at 23. You finally understand yourself and start to make your life fit the way your brain works better. And it's nice, so nice to see the ways you accommodate each other. Yes, I completely agree with yes, we accommodate each other, but also I feel like when I got my diagnosis, the way that I saw the world changed. And it's interesting because nothing in me had practically changed, but it was a system and a structure which, like, what is ADHD? You satisfy enough traits, and a bunch of people who wear white coats, these are the doctors, by the way, I'm saying, they've decided that once you satisfied enough of these traits, this is the condition. So humans have made up this label called ADHD. But once I was given this label and I accepted it, the way I saw the world it changed. And I feel like really my life perspective was shifted because now I could explain things that I previously couldn't. But maybe it makes sense because I was given this label, which now made sense to me because I've grown up, but this label is essentially given by society. But I have grown up in a society where I haven't fit into what is traditionally considered normal. But now this label is given to me. That label is what feels normal to me. So, I just kind of answered my own thought process, or like fulfilled my own thought process as I went on the journey. That's what I love most about sitting here talking to you guys. Peter's looking at me like I'm a crazy person because why are you looking at me like I'm a crazy person? This is what happens when I sit here. I'm talking to myself essentially, and I learn things reading people's comments. So Ryan's question is, do you think there are different ways your ADHD affects you in Vietnam compared to your life in Australia? Also, if Peter is feeling up to filming, does he experience differences between life in each country too? Peter is sitting next to me, so I can ask him, but I don't think he's going to say no. He notices no difference. Peter has got very bad, like absolutely atrocious, terrible memory. I'll ask him where he put something. I don't know. That's always the answer. Bubby, do you think there are different ways my ADHD affects me here versus in Australia? I want to say no.
Only in the way that we're now living with, I guess, my parents or other people. So that means you
Okay,
move stuff around and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just more like moving to a new place.
so
Not the country, but just a new place.
yeah. So Peter's answer, which I have to repeat because I don't have a mic on, is it's not so much about moving to a new country. It's the fact that we move to a new place, and every time we move to a new place, there are changes. So in this instance, we are staying with Peter's parents, and that means that I cannot leave my things wherever I want. So I've had to adapt in terms of where, like, my strategies for managing my ADHD. For example, if I need to remember to do something, I usually leave it somewhere I can visibly see. But Peter's parents like to keep things pretty tidy. So they like to put things away. So they're not at this house that much because they've got another house in the country where they have a farm. But when they are here, I have to kind of be a bit tidier and put my things in other places. If not, like, things can get moved and then I get a bit thrown off because I don't know where the thing that I put somewhere to remember to do is, and all I remember is I put a thing somewhere that I needed to do and I can't remember what that thing is, and I obviously don't know where the thing has gone. Again, I think I've a little bit, I don't know if I'm not diagnosable autistic, but I definitely have traits of autism, and to deal with my ADHD I need to put things in very particular spots. That's my system for managing. So for example, my protein drink shaker every morning, Peter, if he empties the dishwasher, he puts it in a certain spot. If I empty the dishwasher, I put it in a certain spot. When Peter's mum comes back, it's like it's in the kitchen, but then I have to check 4 different places, and that can throw me off quite a bit. So yeah, I think broadly the effects of the ADHD are still the same. It just hasn't changed because we've shifted geography or anything. Hi Blair, thank you for all your comments so far. Blair has an ADHD follow-up question. One of my several things to do because I'm ADHD is I forget to close cabinet doors, turn off lights, lock doors, or push chairs in. I'm guilty of all of the above. Often I will walk out of the kitchen, and as I'm walking out of the kitchen and I turn around and turn the light off, I'll see all the cupboards that I've left open. And sometimes I just leave them all open because I'm like, not today. Anyway, Blair then says, if I'm not careful, I could have piles of paper / things everywhere. Do you do these type of things? Is Peter constantly closing doors and turning off lights or cleaning up after you? Or are there other things that are just as adorable and ADHD related? I think Peter and I have learnt to separate certain things. For example, our desks. I have my own desk, which is extremely messy. Again, I had to leave things out because if I put them away, I never do them. But then more often than not, I don't have the energy to do them, or I don't have the dopamine at the time. So I just have like 5 things on my desk that I'm supposed to do that I bought, that I wanted to do when I bought because I had the energy and it was interesting at the time when I bought it. But now it's just sitting on my desk collecting dust, and it's been like that for a while. What's even worse sometimes is I run out of desk space on my desk, and then I'll move certain belongings to Peter's desk. Sometimes he's okay with it, especially like when packages come in. I'm usually the one who opens all the packages, and my desk clearly has no space, so I'll put it on his desk. But if he's like in a not so happy mood that day, that can cause trouble.
So you are aware of it.
Yeah, I know, but I have to like sense test. Some days you're really chill and you're like you really don't mind if I put stuff on your desk because you understand I'm the one opening all the packages, and you're like, the least I can do is share some of my valuable desk space with this guy who can't manage his own desk space.
No, that's you projecting.
No, that's
you hoping that.
No, that's the reality. Like, it's just like, donate some of your desk space to me, bitch. What was I gonna say? Oh, the other thing that Peter has done is, I think at the start when we first got together, he was a bit like, why is this guy so freaking messy? But now he realizes how I deal with things. And I know he likes to put things away also. So if there's something I need to do, I have to actively tell him, babe, I'm leaving this here, so I will remember to see it. So I'll do it. Can you not put it away? Which is tiring sometimes, but I realize that like that's part of being in a relationship. Sometimes you got to do things to make the relationship work. The other thing that Peter has done is he gets like catch-all trays, or like we just got a new cupboard and he leaves the top cupboard to put all the random miscellaneous stuff that I like to put in there. So I feel that has helped a lot in terms of organizing clutter, because now it's all gathered in one place and it's not as visually messy. So that works a bit for him. And because he's happy, I'm obviously happy because he's not upset at me. Mark says, I like how often you express your appreciation of Peter. See, Peter, you hear that? People say I express my appreciation of you.
Only on camera.
No, I tell him all the time how grateful I am. I tell him, I will randomly go up to him and tell him, Bobby, do you know you're my best friend? And then he'll just look at me. Do you even respond when I say that? No, he just looks at me with a, why are you telling me this? Like, do I need to know this? Like, I thought that was obvious.
No, I say you're my best friend too.
Oh, he says, okay, apparently he says that. Matthew is giving some advice to me on trademark. Ask my trademark lawyer. My lawyer, the trademarks you get in Vietnam also apply in other countries.
No.
Peter says no. Peter's doing all the trademark stuff. So I think we have to file in the main jurisdictions that we want. And once they're approved, there is some way you can, some system of trademark. That's my alarm, guys, 8:45, time to sleep. There's some system where you can then apply to all the other geographies that you want through a much more streamlined process. Is that correct? Did I summarize that correctly?
Yeah, but it costs money every time.
But he says it costs money every time. Everything costs money in this world. Matthew has been diagnosed with ADHD since he was 5 years old and spent decades in therapy. He's better for it. I'm alive, not in prison, and a successful teacher who does really well with ADHD students. I would have loved to have had a teacher like you. Like, I feel most adults and teachers do not understand ADHD. So when they deal with students, it's like, you're not a kid. I don't understand why you cannot behave, why you cannot sit still. You're going to detention. So I'm grateful that you are in the education system. My little guest has joined me. She is barking a lot these few days because she thinks she is the grand protector of our house. What was I going to say? Oh, yes, I remember now. So I watched this reel about medication, the impact of medication, because I think there's a lot of people out there who are like, the medication is bad, ADHD medication, should you actually be taking it, things like that. But there's this one psychiatrist who, he doesn't answer the question by explaining is medication good or bad. He explains it by saying, like, what is the consequence of not having medication? It's like increased risk of risk taking, increased risk of death, increased risk of like ending up in jail, things like that. And then when I saw that, because some days really it's like, it's a thing apparently called medication hesitancy. Some days I'm like, do I want to take my medication today or not? And ultimately, yes, like it elevate, I don't know what, it's a stimulant. So maybe elevates your heart rates. I'm not a doctor. Don't quote me on any of this, guys. But pretty much, some people say if you take your ADHD meds, like you're speeding up your life expectancy and you're going to die faster. But then the complete opposite side is if you don't take your ADHD meds, for me, I'm like, I'm going to end up with anxiety, depression, and that feels like a way worse quality of life than maybe a few less years living on my ADHD meds. So it is different from each person. And I know different people have different side effects, but that is what kind of helped me get through my medication hesitancy, because I realized ultimately, is my quality of life better with my medication or without? And honestly, my quality of life was not that good before I got my diagnosis and started my medication. So I'm pretty happy with my medication. This is a comment from Hannah Abigail. I feel this is in relation to our other two boyfriends, Joel and Dan. I feel Peter and Dan are a little distant. They don't interact much. I want to see them closer together. Well, me too. But to be fair, Peter and Dan are the two quieter ones out of the four of us. So the reality is relationships take time for people to get closer. And even, I think that's what Peter said the other day. He was like, oh, because he hasn't been able to spend that much quality time or even one-on-one time with them, and that's how he bonds with people. He's obviously not as close to them as me, but like we all get along really well. And I guess as we spend more time together as a four, or even individually between the couples, I think the relationships will develop, and that's what it takes for relationships to develop, spending time getting to know each other. And then now moving to yesterday's vlog's comments, someone Hokey Pokey suggested a California king bed. They are even bigger than a king. A Californian king bed, I have no idea how that big that is, but I'm like, can a Californian king bed fit 4 people? 4 people is a different level of comfort. I'm sure I feel like a king can fit a throuple, but Californian king, and with the amount of movement that I do, Peter's looking at how big a Californian king.
I'm pretty sure it's not big enough. I've looked at it. It's 183 cm by 213.
So as long as
183 cm by 213. It's 13 centimeters longer than what we already have. So that's, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to cut it. But thank you, Hokey Pokey. Nikki said, please invite Peter to your vlog more often. We really enjoy both of you doing the vlog, especially Peter. He always has such interesting thoughts and ideas. I agree too, and I would love to have him here every day, but the kiddo does not have enough energy, unfortunately. It is a limited capacity, which is why he features as a guest. That is why the show is called the Techie Always and the Peter Sometimes show. The Peter Sometimes when he has the energy to attend.
I am here though.
See, Michael also says, can't wait for the next philosophical conversation with Peter. Pablo says, H&M Cool Max t-shirts might be a good inspiration. This was in reference to me talking about the difficulty in making almost the perfect t-shirt because of conflicting like benefits of different types of material. So I will go and look at this H&M Cool Max t-shirts. Pablo, thank you very much. Hi, Scheme, Skeime, suggested using dryer tumbler balls that soften clothes manually rather than needing to use fabric softener. In Vietnam, no one really owns a dryer because it is so hot here. It would just generate more heat. So all our clothes are just hung on a line and dry. But maybe I can like beat my clothes some way. That might actually soften them. Matthew has left a fantastic quote. Wisdom is what you get when you don't get what you want. And I think that's so true. Literally, you only get wiser through facing adversity. Peter, are there any circumstances where you get wiser without adversity? No, because then everything's the same and life is essentially boring. So I think it's true. You only get wiser when you face adversity, when you don't get what you want. Thank you, Matthew. Peter now asks the philosophical question, what is wisdom? Well, the Google AI overview says wisdom is the ability to use your knowledge, experience, and deep understanding to make good choices and sound judgments. It means knowing how to apply what you learn to handle life well and help others. I just had to tell Peter to go away because this is something that Peter loves to do, which I'm usually okay with him doing, but today when I'm filming is very distracting. He likes to sit near me and then be in my presence. Like he likes to, it's called parallel play. He likes to do what he's doing whilst I'm doing what I'm doing. But when I'm filming and I'm trying to focus on what I want to talk about and my thought process and think through things, then he's like trying to paint. We got this microphone, a shotgun microphone. So that's like, I don't know, it's like the foam looking thing that sticks out on top of cameras usually. And it was red. And we were trying to film outside with it. And it was just really obnoxious and obviously it catches people's attention. So we had to find a paint marker and we had to paint it and fill it in. So he decided that now is a great time for him to sit next to me, paint that thing and shake the marker because it's got like the marbles inside to make sure the paint's flowy. And then start like banging the tripod on the ground to try and make the tripod open. And then he's like playing with his nails and like clicking them, making the clicking noises. And yeah, he's happy to be next to me. I'm like, Bobby, can you not do that? Can you like, do you want to put on a mic so you can come talk to me? No, but he wants to have the conversation and engage with me with my conversation, but not put the microphone on because he doesn't want to commit that much, which means it's really difficult for me to actually have a conversation with him. That's the challenge because obviously in editing, he's so far away from the microphone. it becomes a huge pain in the ass to do. So that's why I just asked him, okay, baby, you have to go shower now because I'm trying to concentrate here and you're driving me nuts. So that's my life with Peter sometimes. Like when you guys want him to appear here, one of the things actually we had to sit down and discuss was when I started doing these vlogs, I told him like, I don't want him to be too involved because usually he'll come up with the ideas, what we want to do. He'll be like, yeah, okay, we should add lighting. Then we'll add the lighting. And then 5 vlogs in, he'll be like, I'm too tired. I don't want to film today. Then he won't appear and then we won't have the lighting. And it just feels like everything's changing and really inconsistent. So what I told him is I'm going to be the person who sits here every day and talks. If you want to join, you can join. If you don't want to join, you don't have to join. I love chatting with Peter because he has like a very unique perspective compared to me. And he's extremely logical, extremely logical. So I can ask him the simplest question and he can give me an answer that will really make me question how I think about what I'm thinking about. So from that perspective, I feel that I grow intellectually when I engage with Peter. And actually, that's probably the same with Dan and Joelle. And that's one of the reasons I think for me personally, I decided I want to be in this quad relationship. Are there challenges? Is there like adversity? Are there times where I struggle with the relationship? 100%. But it comes back to what Matthew said. Wisdom is what you gain when you don't get what you want or when things don't go your way or they don't go your way easily. Because you're confronted with a challenge, your brain has to process how to work through it, and through processing how to work through it, you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom. And that's what happens with the boys in one capacity. So when for example, one time Joel was a bit upset and then we spoke through it, and going through that experience made me realize, oh shit, I never really saw a relationship this way or how we could interact. Essentially what happened was Peter and I joke a lot, like a lot. And Joel is the one who spends the most out of all of us. So we were like joking, oh my goodness, Joel, baby, you spend the most. We're all going to be poor because of you. But he took it really personally because I think recently he's been trying to save money. So he felt like he's trying to save and then we're still saying he spends a lot. But Peter and I just joke about it. Like Peter and I tease each other personally in our relationship about spending things on things that we don't use. Peter has bought a $2,000 camera, which he's barely used. And then I bought a DJ deck and used like for 2 weeks and then I gave up on it. That was $600, so still less than Peter's $2,000. But the point is, Peter and I love to joke. So when we were joking with Joel, we didn't realize he would take it the wrong way. And then he was upset. But ultimately, going through that experience, I'll realize, oh, there are things that I can say that someone else will interpret differently. And in hindsight, it kind of makes sense. The type of joking that Peter and I do to each other has developed over many years of being in a relationship together. With Joel and Dan, we've been together for like 7 months now. And I think the other big difference is we are not living together. So the amount of time we get to spend with each other and get to know each other, connect with each other is also more limited. That's actually probably the hardest part of being in this long distance relationship, because whenever the 4 of us are back together, and I think this is probably the reason we agreed to do this in the first place, when we are in the same place and we're hanging out together, everything just feels so smooth, gentle, and we're all on the same wavelength. We really click. But once we're back in our respective cities and separated again, I feel like some distance does build between us. And that's where we always actively know and have planned the next trip where we're going to see each other. And seeing each other, and after like spending, let's say, the first hour, it's like, oh my God, we're back together again. So I do think ultimately, if I could choose, the goal would be for us to live in the same country at least together, or very close, even if it's like they have their own place and we have our own place. But realistically, I think we'd all want to live together. That would be way more fun. That is the goal. My point that I'm trying to make is when I choose life partners, they need to be able to help me grow intellectually. I think that's what Dan has done. That's what Peter has done. That's what Joel has done. And Dan has also done that because how he thinks about things is just so different to how I think about things. He's logical like Peter, but I don't know how to explain. His perspective is just different. And I guess everyone's perspective on life is different because of how you've been raised. So by virtue of finding someone else that you also connect with, even though they can both be like logical minded, they can have two different perspectives, which is exactly Peter and Dan. I can ask both of them about the same question. I'll get two logical responses that come from two slightly different angles. And then my brain is just like exploding. And maybe that's what I get the most dopamine and joy from, expanding how I think. And as my belief systems, my thoughts level up, I feel like I'm more open-minded about the world, which means that as I go through life, it makes it easier for me. So one example is, I think because of my ADHD, one of the things with ADHD is called emotional dysregulation. We get upset a lot quicker than other people. Our emotions are more heightened. That's why sometimes you'll see that they say ADHD people are very impulsive, like very quick to react. So yeah, let's say someone cuts me off when I was driving. I would always used to be so angry and frustrated at them. But as I have developed my own personal thinking more, now when someone cuts me off, I used to be like, I now realize it is in my interest and in my benefit to be like, maybe they're just having a bad day or they're rushed to go somewhere. It's okay. And actually that has made my life easier because I've realized it doesn't need to be true, but believing that makes my life easier. I'm not so heated. I'm not so frustrated. And ultimately my quality of life is better. So I don't need to be right and to win in that instance to make my life better. And that's probably that's one small change that I've made to my life as I've developed my thinking. And that's what I continue to try and do over time. Yeah. So that is it for today. I'm really grateful to everyone who is joining me in these daily vlogs, as well as leaving comments, questions. If there's anything else you guys want me to talk about, please let me know. But I will endeavor to get Peter to join some more. But again, it's really hard because he has very, very limited energy. So it has to be up to him when he wants to join or when he doesn't want to join. I've realized that trying to put pressure on him to join, even though I love talking to him, he'd rather I think the solution might just be put a microphone on him and let him sit off camera, and then I can talk to him. That seems to work well, and then you guys can still hear what he has to say. But yeah, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.